Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chelsea Story Nook Podcast, a podcast where we dive deep into the enchanting world of the children's literature. I'm your host, Chelsea Chong Kim, and today we have a wonderful guest joining us to share their journey and insights into their latest book. I'm delighted to welcome a mother of three beautiful children and the children's book author, K Lomasney, the author of I Grew Very Brave, to Chelsea Story Nook Podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. And by the way, everyone, don't get confused. It's not my main character, Carol the Carrot. It's the actual real life author, Carol herself. She came to our podcast. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm a little nervous, but I'm good.
And I want our audience to know, could you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Carol. I'm the author of I Grew Very Brave that was published in August of this year. I'm a wife and a mom of three kiddos, two girls and a boy. I also work for a nonprofit organization and I have a very busy life, but I love it.
Love that. Beautiful. So let's talk about your book. Could you give us a brief overview of everything, your main character, your themes, and what our audience could take away from?
Yeah, this book is actually about a little fox named Esther who is thirsty right before bed. And of course, I know all moms and dads know that right before bed, your kids will be like, I'm thirsty, or I want to, I need to get something, I gotta go to the bathroom. So there's always something. But in this case, it's Esther who is thirsty right before bed. But there's no water in her family's den or in her kitchen because it's closed for the night. So she has to go into the dark woods to make her way to a nearby pond. The problem is Esther is afraid of the dark. So Esther's mom, Mama Fox, encourages Esther to face her fears by giving her a lantern to go into the woods and start her journey. So once she goes into the woods and starts that journey, she runs into a couple of woodland animal friends, which are Otto Owl, Hudson Hedgehog, and Bradley Bear. They're super cute. My illustrator did a great job at coming up with them and creating their character. And Esther finds out that they're also afraid of the dark. So this book is kind of meant to inspire children and adults to share their own light and bravery with the world.
So what a charming and heartfelt story. I want to ask you, what inspired you to write this book, and what was the main idea that motivated you?
I think this main idea took place kind of 9 years ago when I had my first daughter, Leah. She's now 9 years old. So when I first became a mom, I was afraid. I mean, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. Being a mom was so new, and I'm sure first-time moms can understand when you bring that baby home from the hospital, you don't have instructions or directions on how to raise a child.
Yes.
So I was nervous, and while I was raising her, after a couple of years, she had to go to school. So preschool was when it started. She was around 3 years old, 4 years old. And I knew I had to kind of release her to somebody else and trust that she can do it. And I had to, she had to be brave in order to do that. And I know that if I wanted to raise a child who was fearless and who could change the world and who was brave, then I also had to be brave. So I had to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing as a first-time mom. And that kind of started that journey of this book.
Wow. And can you walk us through how you became an author, experiences you had to influence your journey?
I always loved reading ever since I was young. And if you know the show Gilmore Girls, you know the show Gilmore Girls? I don't know if you watched, but Rory always brought a book with her. So that was me when I was little. I would bring a book with me everywhere I went because I'm like, if I'm bored, I can just read a book and kind of hide in my stories that I'm reading. So ever since then, I just love to read. And now that I'm a mom, it's a little harder to read because I don't have the time. But I think that love of reading and then also seeing children grow into fearless, loving, good, and kind people is what kind of inspired me to be an author. It's just a mom experience, I guess.
Yeah, that is very interesting because what you talked about earlier about fears, a lot of us, especially the audience, if you guys are hearing this, most of you are mothers or fathers. You are first-time mother, And for kids, if you guys are watching this, you guys are very nervous about your new grade, going to the new school. We all have that fear, like our new job. I have the interview going on. Everyone has that fear, but we need to have the braveness in ourselves.
Yeah.
When I read your book, the character is named Esther, believe, right? Esther the fox.
Yep.
We can see Esther facing her fear of the dark, and along the way, finding out the others share the same fear. So, what inspired you to use darkness as a metaphor for fear? And how do you hope readers will relate to Esther's journey of finding courage and the power of sharing their light with the others?
So I use darkness because I think everybody's afraid of something, and they feel like this darkness is just so overwhelming. And sometimes that's how darkness can feel. Their fear could be so overwhelming, it just kind of darkens their surroundings.
Yes.
So the reason why I used it was because there's always a little bit of light in someone, a little bit of bravery in somebody that can overcome that darkness. So that's kind of why I used it. I think everybody can relate to the darkness, but then everybody can relate to that little bit of light and kind of see that the light can spread and the light can, it pierce the darkness.
Yes. And if you could offer advice to authors for young readers who are pursuing the same path, but may feel hesitant, fearful about finding their voice, what would you say to them? What would be your advice?
It would be do it anyways. I mean,
yes,
being an author is a scary thing. You're putting yourself out there. You're taking steps that you've never had to take before, and you're pursuing something new, and it's always going to be scary. But just take that one step. You don't have to complete the whole project at once. It's just one step at a time. So that's kind of what I would recommend.
I will recommend the same way. Just do it. Just do it. Wow, what an incredible journey. And also, thank you for your advice. And as we near the end, could you let us in on any upcoming events or future projects that you're really looking forward to and want your audience to stay tuned for?
Yeah, I have a couple of book fairs and holiday shows that I'll be at and school visits. So if anybody wants to take a look at where I'm at, I have a website at KloMasney.com. I would love to meet you, so come visit me. And then also for future plans, I'm hoping to publish at least 2 more books. I've been working on the manuscripts, and we'll start editing process soon. So hopefully within the next 1 or 2 years, it'll get out there. But
oh my goodness.
Also an Easter egg in the book of I Grew Very Brave. There are 2 hidden characters in there that will be in the next 2 books. So it's kind of fun.
Well, audience, you heard it here first. Guys, you need to go follow her. And where can they follow you in your social media?
I have a Facebook page or an Instagram page, K Lomasney. Yep.
Nice. Guys, you have to follow her. Her social media is beautiful, by the way. You guys need to go watch her. She is an incredible mother. And again, that sounds so exciting for you and all the journey ahead of you, Carol. Again, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights. It's been truly a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to the episode of Chelsea Story Nook Podcast. Don't miss out. Carol K Lomasney, the author of I Grew Very Brave. I'll include all the details in the description below, so be sure to check it out and follow Carol for her updates and her upcoming events. Until next time, keep reading, keep imagining, and keep believing the miracle stories. I'm Chelsea Chong Kim, signing off. Take care, everyone, and carry it on. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on today's episode of Chelsea Story Nook Podcast. Don't forget to order a copy of Carol the Carrot Bowls for the Salad Bowl on Amazon now. Tune in to other authors' podcast interviews for exciting discussions about their latest books and exclusive sneak peeks. Until next time, keep reading, keep imagining, and keep believing in the miracle stories. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification button. I'm Chelsea Kim signing off. Take care and carry it on.